I thought Candy Crowley did a great job last night, but the important point is not Candy Crowley. I mean, it is for the right. It is for all the right-wing talk show hosts. I got the memo this morning. Talk about Candy Crowley. Talk about nothing but Candy Crowley. This is these are the memos that go out to the right-wing talk show hosts all over the country. The talking points for the day, essentially. Candy Crowley. It's going to be all about Candy Crowley. She did wrong. She shouldn't have corrected the candidate. So how dare she insert herself as a fact checker? Why didn't she fact check the president when he said something wrong? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I would submit to you, frankly, in answer to that question, that the reason why she did say what she said was because Mitt Romney turned to the... Do you have a clip of that moment? Listen to this, and in that moment of incredulity in Mitt Romney's voice, when he is saying, "I just want this on the record that the president said this," or words to that effect, he was actually looking at Candy Crowley. He was looking at the moderator as if to say, "Okay, you're from the news. You better make note of the fact that this guy just said something that is wrong." And what's she supposed to say? I mean, he's looking at her. He's talking to her. So, she says, well, what he said is true. Here it is.
Governor, if you want to reply quickly to this, please. I certainly do.
I think it's interesting. The president just said something which is that on the day after the attack, he went in the Rose Garden and said that this was an act of terror. That's what I said. You said in the Rose Garden, the day after the attack, it was an act of terror. It was not a spontaneous demonstration. Is that what you're saying?
Please proceed, Governor.
I want to make sure we get that for the record, because it took the president 14 days before he called the attack in Benghazi an act of terror.
Get the transcript.
He did, in fact, sir. So let me call it an act of terror.
Can you say that a little louder, Candy?
Yeah. But Romney had walked right up to Candy Crowley. He was talking to her. So, in any case, it's not about Candy Crowley. It's about 31 lies in 41 minutes. And I've just given you a few, some of the more egregious ones. There are fewer people working today than when the president came into office. Not true. Actually, there are net positive 125,000 jobs. Now, that's not a lot, but keep in mind, during the first few months, the Bush Great Depression was still going on. 800,000 people were losing their jobs every month. Took a while for that stimulus bill to get written and get put into law. Romney then said, I don't believe employers should tell everyone whether they have contraceptive care or not. Every woman in America should have access to contraceptives. That's a verbatim quote. But Senator Roy Blunt of Missouri, Republican, introduced a bill that would allow employers to deny contraception coverage. And Mitt Romney said this, quote, "Of course I support the Blunt Amendment. Of course I support, I support, and of course I support that amendment." He said, "I think all Americans should be allowed to get around this religious exemption. I clearly want to have a religious exemption from Obamacare. In other words, employers should be able to say, no, we're not going to pay for your birth control on your health care plan." But last night he said the opposite. He said, "I don't believe employers should tell someone whether they have contraceptive care or not." Take that, Catholic Church. Or for that matter, hard-right Protestant churches. Okay, Romney, another lie. He says, I'm not going to have people at the high end of the pay less than they're paying now. The top 5% of taxpayers will continue to pay 60% of the income tax. All right. According to the Center for American Progress's examination of Romney's tax plan, the top 10% will reap half of Romney's tax cut benefits. The top 1%, a third of them. And on it goes. Here's President Obama on Romney's sketchy deal. Clip number 2. Shano.
If somebody came to you, Governor, and said, "Here, I want to spend $7 or $8 trillion, and we're going to pay for it, but we can't tell you until maybe after the election how we're going to do it," you wouldn't have taken such a sketchy deal. And neither should you. The American people.
There you go. Sketchy deal. Well, Sketchy. And and the Arizona immigration line, clip number 7. Here we go.
He called the Arizona law a model for the nation. Part of the Arizona law said that law enforcement officers could stop folks because they suspected maybe they looked like they might be undocumented workers.
I did not say that the Arizona law was a model for the nation in that aspect. I said that the E-Verify portion of the Arizona law, which is the portion of the law which says that employers could be able to determine whether someone is here illegally or not illegally, that was a model for the nation.
His top advisor on immigration is the guy who designed the Arizona law, the entirety of it, not E-Verify, the whole thing.
And let us not forget that Romney's top advisor on who's going to get on the Supreme Court is Robert Bork. Robert Bork, for those of you too young to remember, was too extreme for Ronald Reagan to get onto the court. Robert Bork was the guy who said that women's rights should be subordinate to the law. In other words, Congress should be able to pass a law saying, women get paid half of what men do. That the Civil Rights Act is unconstitutional. I mean, Robert Bork is as extreme as he makes Scalia look like a moderate. Anyhow, here's Romney using the word foreign, trying to insert the word foreign. This was a dog whistle to the Fox News watchers who think that Obama is, from Kenya or something. Clip number 3.
We have a president talking about someone's plan in a way that's completely foreign to what my real plan is.
Right. Yeah, foreign. Yeah, let's get that word in there. It's let's be sure to say that the president is foreign. He talks like a foreigner, He's saying something that's foreign. So, anyhow, we got a lot more clips. I've got another out of the 31 lies. We've covered maybe 6 of them. So we've got a lot more to go. But I want to get you in on this as well. So we'll pick up your calls right after the break, and you can share your thoughts with us, with all of us, on what happened last night and your sense of where this is going to lead the election.